So the best way to describe Mewgenics, if you're not familiar, is it is a roguelite. It's a tactical roguelite, a la like the combat in Baldur's Gate 3, or more traditionally would be something like, I think, like Final Fantasy Tactics, or I think this is how Fire Emblem combat works, which makes it feel even worse that Dempsey cannot play this game.
It is. It is. Yeah, it's based off that pretty much.
Okay.
That's like feeling sorry for a vegan because they can't have steak. Choices.
Yeah, so for the context for everybody, Dempsey is also not here this week because we were just going to talk about Mewgenics and he can't play it. Katie, you said this right earlier.
I explained that,
sorry.
yeah.
So Mewgenics is, on the roguelite side, it's a roguelite tactics RPG. So it has like your traditional classes and stuff. And it's sort of D&D inspired in that aspect with like all the not all the classes are D&D classes. But a lot of them are like inspired by D&D classes, at least, with some like generic fantasy archetypes or fantasy RPG archetypes thrown in there. The runs are kind of similar to like Slay the Spire in a way, where you have like combats that you have to do, and then you have like random events and shops, and then you'll have like elite fights, and then but then you could choose to go down a hard path that eventually leads out to a boss fight. That part of the gameplay is fantastic. If they had just shipped that, I think I would have been happy with the game. But then they have this other management sim part of the game, which is the actual like management of the cats and like building, like decorating your house and the different rooms, and then getting the cats to mate, for podcast-friendly terms, and then produce new cats, which is very similar to Pokemon breeding. If you guys have ever done like extensive Pokemon breeding.
I never thought about it, but I guess it is similar. Yeah,
it's essentially exactly the same concept, because like when you do Pokemon breeding in the games, you're trying to get like a Pokemon with like 6 perfect IVs, which affect its base stats, but then you might also want to pass down like moves and abilities, and there's a little bit of like randomness associated with that. So Mewgenics takes that idea and then says like, oh, but what if the creatures could be inbred? And that's a bad thing.
I've heard that. I've heard tell of that inbreeding is bad.
Yeah, so there's
Generally.
really funny, like, once you get the ability to unlock the family trees, and then you like click on some of the cats you've had around for a while, you're like, oh, this looks more like a spider web than like a family tree. You're like, there's some concerning relationship. I was explaining to Rachel that I had this one cat who their parents were their mom and their grandfather. And their maternal grandfather, of course.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, and she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, look at this family tree. And she's like, that's not a tree. That's like a ladder.
Oh, no.
And yeah. So.
It's if D&D, Frankenstein, and an episode of Hoarders had a baby.
Yeah. And it's great. It's such a good game.
It's great. It is really good. And it's the only game that I've ever played where I can have 25 cats.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
So as someone who is currently in the process of adopting another cat, and I'll be getting another cat in like 3 weeks, I am just living out my best cat mom life. And this is making me incredibly more excited for a kitten. Although, you know, I'm not going to be as weird with that cat as I am with the cats in this game. I'm not going to sell them to the shady man down the street who lives under my house, but I'll think about it.
What? Why
so
not?
My buddy pointed out that this game was just D&D, and I never really, I didn't like, I don't know. I think at that point I had maybe like just over 10 hours into it, probably. And I didn't even clock in that the classes are, I think, aside, so now I have all of them unlocked, I believe. Aside from Tinkerer and no,
you don't.
Oh, okay. I have 9 of them unlocked. Then I didn't see a scrolly bar, so I assumed.
Have 5.
think
aside from Tinkerer,
there's 12 from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. So there's Tinkerer and there's another
Wow.
one that I can't think of currently, but all of the other ones are D&D classes. I mean, Necromancer is,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, technically, yeah. I
I
mean,
haven't gotten to that. All I have... I'm so behind. Let's hurry up and podcast so I can get
So you
further.
can play more Mewgenics.
Yes.
But even down to the spell names and or the ability names,
Yeah.
I think they're called abilities. Like,
Mhm.
there's
Magic
tons
missile
of stuff.
and
Yeah, literally magic missile. I was just like, oh yeah, that is just straight up D&D. Like, so many things are just straight up Dungeons and Dragons, and it makes me that much happier to play it because I feel like the further I get, the more and more references I'm getting, especially with like, it feels like there's just like thousands of items. And there's like, you know, you've got like Freddy Krueger's hat, you have Jason's mask. There's like a bunch of like really funny references to a lot of things. I just found one today that I tried to remember for the podcast because it was perfect. It was something so funny and niche and weird. But yeah, there's tons of these references in the game that are just...
Is it the Junji Ito event?
Oh, I did. No, that's not what I was thinking of, but I did hit that yesterday. And oh my God, it is so funny. I was so sad because I lost my cat and then he came back vertical. It was amazing.
Katie, do you know who Junji Ito is?
No.
He's, I mean, Brett might be able to explain it better than I can, but he's a, like, Japanese horror manga artist.
Oh, does he write the one with the... Tell me about it and I'll tell you if it's familiar.
There's the one with like the hole in the wall, I think is the most, probably the most prominent one. There's another one, a show just came out, or they adapted one to an anime last year, but one with the hole in the wall. Basically, it's like there's this mountain face and there's a bunch of people-shaped holes in the wall, and people are like drawn to them, and then eventually they go up to one and they're like, oh, this hole was created for me, like I'm gonna go into this hole, and they just like slide into this like person-shaped hole and just keep going forward, and then they just like, you know, never return. It's it's terrifying, but that
awful.
event happens in the game, like
Great.
But when you the thing with the holes is that they get smaller the deeper you get into the hole.
Yeah.
So the people just get like noodles stretched out as they like go deeper into the holes. And the same thing happens to your cat. It's really funny, actually. It just shows your cat like T-posing and going into the wall. You lose them for the next fight, but then they come back the fight afterwards. And they come back with like 7 mutations where like all of their limbs are stretched out. But like it's actually an insane event. Like all the mutations are buffs, and it's actually really great for your cat. But your cat just looks all like demonic now. It's really funny.
Janky.
It's awesome.
That's cool. I can't wait to get to that part. No, I haven't gotten there. Trying to think. I've only gotten to I haven't beaten the junkyard yet. Or wait, no, I did. I beat the junkyard one time. But what I'm running into is that I suck at strategy. I'm really bad. So whenever this is why I'm not good at Slay the Spire. I'm not actually really very good at roguelikes. But they still hook me in. It's kind of like I go into insanity where I just keep playing even though I never win.
Big same.
Yeah. But what I'm running into is that I get super greedy. I'm like, ooh, I want to get them all leveled up as high as possible so that I can have the best cats. And then they all die. And then all I'm left with are these shitty strays. And my gene pool is freaking starting over again.
But at least, but if your gene pool's starting over, you're not risking incest, which is good. So, I mean, maybe this is a boon.
That's true.
Oh, true. It's like Darwin's like evolutionary theory or something.
Or something.
The strongest
or something.
The strongest survive or something.
That.
Yeah. I'm an English teacher, okay? I don't know.
She's like,
I don't know science.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about the game though is it does give you more mechanics to sort of like resolve that issue down the line. Like I have really high house appeal, which means that like I get better strays. And like my appeal right now is I've just been buying appeal items. So it's like 25 or something.
Oh my goodness.
So like all the strays that show up to my house just have like 2 or 3 7s in their stats just like naturally.
Oh, wow.
So I just get really good strays, which then, now that I have multiple rooms, makes it easier to do like the breeding process, because I can like isolate 2 cats in their own room, and then like, and you got to play around with it a little bit, because I've had an almost perfect stat cat that ended up being gay, which was not helpful.
Maybe that's an intended feature. I don't know.
Well, somebody pointed out,
like they start to...
That would be really funny, is the better stats your cats get, the gayer they get. I don't think that's how it works, but
I don't think that's how genetics works, if we're being honest. So
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, you should just get like one of the gender fluid cats and see if they'll reproduce with your gay cat."
Is that what that is?
That's what the question mark is.
Question mark is, because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, that has now produced and reproduced. I don't understand.
Yeah. So
Teddy, speaking of, my cat's scratching at the door. Teddy, stop it.
the question mark, I'm pretty sure means gender fluid, but then you have to get down the line in the guy from Tink, the guy you give the kittens to, and then he gives you more information about your cats. So that's where like you first figure out like the base stats, and then you get the family trees. Eventually he does.
Right, I just got base stats.
He does tell you your cat sexuality. And I think your cat can essentially be like any kind of queer. Like,
that's amazing. I love that.
Your cats can be like gay or asexual, or they could probably be bi if I had to guess.
I'm pretty sure I have an asexual cat who has incredible stats and is just like, oh, like Toby tried to mate with whatever, but it wasn't interested. Like every time it's not interested.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it because it's a gay cat? It might just be asexual, which is incredible.
I mean,
Great
yeah, it could go
visibility.
either way.
Funny.
It's just like, it's so funny that this is a problem in a game about cat breeding. You're like, my stupid cat is ace.
I wonder if the developers were like, let's make a D&D roguelike, but then let's make it cats. And then they're like, what do cats do? Oh, they reproduce like crazy.
So,
okay.
The thing is,
this
like, this game has been in development on and off for like 15 years, which would have been...
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, well, like, again, on and off, like, it was originally started developing, but it was a very different game when it first came out. Originally, I think, or when it was originally conceptualized, I think, like, the cat breeding was always at the center, but it was originally going to be, like, mini-game focused. I think, like, Mario Party-esque. But you got to remember, like, 15 years ago, we were in the doldrums of, like, 2011. There was no roguelites as we understand them today.
That's true.
I mean, this was, like, when the original Spelunky was coming out. So...
Yeah.
Like, the genre didn't really exist yet.
It makes me think of, okay, so when I was a kid, I played a computer game called Dogs with a Z at the end. Did you guys ever play that?
I did.
I'm not familiar.
Yes. Okay, so
we're old.
Dogs 5 was seriously though. Plus, that was a game like, I grew up gaming, but I definitely was like, oh, girl games, cool. And apparently, like, Dogs 5 was a girl game to me. I was like, I can play this. I also played Battlefield, so I don't know where the delineation came in my mind there. But anyway, Dogs 5 was the game that got me into, it was my first foray into modding, because you could get a Keyshawn, and you could get a Saluki, and you could get all these badass dog breeds that people had modded and put them into the source code so that you would have those dogs in your game. And then you would, like, I would raise them purely to breed them so that they would have puppies and, like, have mixed puppies, and the mixed puppies would have all these different traits and stuff. God, I was obsessed with that game. But this game, Mewgenics, is like Dogs 5 plus combat. It's great. It's like the perfect evolution. It's extremely good. It also makes me think of Cult of the Lamb, in that it's that awesome roguelike mechanic with the management side.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see, as we get further into that management side kind of how interesting that gets. I need to
It's also
win
kind
more
of similar
so that I can
in
do
art
that.
style a little bit as well. I mean, it's that same kind of like
Mm-hmm.
2D, you know, really cartoony, heavy outline sort of. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
the Binding of Isaac's art style, you know, which kind of
It's
pioneered
very,
an entire art style, I think.
It's
very
very
Newgrounds
Flash. Yeah. Because that's the lead developer has been making, he made Newgrounds Flash games. And it still looks like that, which is very funny. Did I ever tell you guys? Okay, this is tangentially related to Flash. I never uninstalled Flash from my computer. And they stopped developing in like late 2020. So every time I boot up my computer, I get a notification from Flash that's like, hey, we've stopped supporting this as of like December 30th, 2020. And I just click out of it every time.
I need my
like,
Flash
it's fine.
games.
Your demise is my daily reminder of.
Well, like, I don't think
brevity
Flash
life.
even works anymore. And of course, like, nobody has their games on Flash because it hasn't been available for over 5 years. I just like clicking out of it every time I open it up.
I was listening to the Techno Nihilism episode, which was very good, you guys.
Thanks.
I haven't finished it yet, but one of the things I thought was interesting was about talking about how indie games have had this like huge influx and how like the art style of these games are going to be good in 15 or 20 years because they're not trying for hyperrealism.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that they're brilliant to choose. I think it's a brilliant design choice to choose an art style that's going to age well, especially for a game like this that's going to have such high replayability. So it's really, really smart.
Yeah, definitely.
5 years from now, someone's going to pick it up for the first time and put 200 hours into it, just like we are right now.
Which is so sick that that's like a thing that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's early days for me yet. Like I'm not as far as either one of you, but I can already tell that it's the game that is going to replace RimWorld for a while. In my
interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something's finally dethroned RimWorld. Or not dethroned, but it's coming up for regicide.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
One thing that So, I mean, we've kind of sung its praises for a minute. One thing that I find a little grating, that I'm wondering if you guys feel the same way, is sometimes I feel like to get a run to go to completion, it takes a long time. Like it is like I have combat speed on 2 times speed, and that's I think currently about as fast as I would like it. Because even at 2 times speed, or do I have it at 3 times speed? It's really fast, and sometimes it's like, whoa, what just happened? Like, especially if there's a lot of extra turns and stuff happening, it gets really chaotic, and I cease to understand what's happening. But, I kind of have to speed it up because I don't want a run to be an hour. I don't play Night Rain as often as I think I should because I don't want to sit down and commit to, like, 45 minutes to an hour to something. I want to be able to pick it up for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. And I was really hoping that this game would be something that I could pick up for 5 minutes at a time. And realistically, you could, because it saves after every fight. You could just do just the alley. And then before you go to the crossroads, save and quit, come back to it again later. Like, you could do that, but I feel like I kind of lose my step if I do that. I have quit out in the middle of a run one time, and I came back being like, okay, now I have to look at my cats. I have to remember what I was doing. I have to remember the skills that everyone has and see what kind of synergies I was building. So I think that's one complaint that I currently have about the game is that runs take way longer than I thought they were going to. I thought it was going to be like 15, 20 minutes max, but it seems like, I don't know. I feel like I haven't actually timed a run, but it feels like a full run is 45 minutes-ish, maybe a little bit longer.
To do... like to get through the alley and then another level, or to get through another 3
level.
levels?
So there's 3 levels.
And then another
level. Seems like there's 3 levels in total. And then so far I've discovered a 4th sub-level, but it wasn't a full level yet. I think next time I go back, it will be an entire 4th sub-level. But, At
the end of the Act 1 paths, you're saying?
Yeah, at the end of the Boneyard. It's, So I won't go into too much more because I don't want to spoil. But yeah, it does feel like runs take a really long time. And in comparison to other roguelites that I play, I mean, I think maybe I'm just spoiled from playing, like Seth, you got me like Nuclear Throne and Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I've been playing both quite a bit. And man, I can like even a full run of Crypt of the Necrodancer can be over in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's not very
Nuclear
long
Throne is a
at
10-minute game.
Yeah, and I love that.
I think it's more akin to Slay the Spire because I think for me, maybe because I'm slow at my decision making, but it probably takes me 45 minutes to complete, maybe 30 minutes to complete all. Don't give me a look like that, Seth.
Sorry,
I analyze a lot of things and I'm a slow processor.
I have Mewgenics on in the background that I just read this ability and I went, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you were making faces that it takes me 45 minutes to finish all 3 levels of Slay the Spire.
No, sorry, keep talking
just
and then I'll
ignoring
explain
us
what
for
I
the
just
game
saw.
we're talking about.
Yeah, Jesus. Your face was doing the work there.
My
and it
bad.
made me feel bad. But with Slay the Spire, it's the same way. Like, the runs take quite some time. And if you stop midway, it's really challenging to pick it back up and finish it. So it is definitely a time commitment. But I just can't say no. One thing, I've turned up the speed to the 2 times as well. But when I have an AI controlled cat, like if I put the little robot hat on him, I feel like they're doing things that I'm like, how are they doing so much?
I didn't even know that was an option. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit. But actually, it was great. No, it was actually really, really helpful for me with the thief class because it taught me something. I was like, oh, they do that every single turn. I didn't even realize that I should be doing that. So now when I play different things, like I'll put the hat on different people on different battles so I can see how the computer would run it. And that helps me to see like what my strategy should be. So that's been helpful. Modeling.
I did the exact same thing for the druid class because I'm like, oh, it's just summon things, you know, like, and I just chucked the hat on the druid because I'm like, I don't want to play the druid. Like the druid turn, it's just a support class for the most part. But then it kind of went off the rails and started like almost being like the leader of my party. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could play it quite like that. Like, okay, maybe I should be doing things a little different. Maybe I shouldn't just have him sitting in a corner just doing his happy little dances and whatever. But yeah, I think it's really interesting to let the AI just like take over occasionally because I feel like, yeah, the AI is better than I am at this game, 110%. And it's really cool to kind of see it. Yeah, it's really cool to just kind of let the game go wild and show me what it's like actually capable of because I feel like I don't even know what it's capable of half the time.
Yeah, and I think it's a really useful, because it's like, it's all stats up, and then it's like AI controlled, and you would think that the AI control is the negative balance, but it's actually also a positive. And I wonder if they did the all stats up so that you would take advantage of the AI as a teaching tool. I wonder if they thought of that. If they're like, oh, we want them to use this so they can see different ways to do things.
I'm confused about, was this like a quest item you got? That is this?
No, it's just a random item that you get.
Oh, I forget what it's called. It's like a robot hat, though.
Like,
it's
I
like a
haven't
little
found
metal
that,
hat with an antenna.
so-
Oh yeah, it's
What?
a hat with a
I
little
found it on
antenna,
multiple
and it
runs.
literally just AI you put it on a character, and it just AI controls them.
It's just like an all stats up, but it AI controls your. I mean, that's not bad actually.
Yeah.
No, it's
really
kind
good.
of just like a no lose situation unless you. I don't know. Like mine did get a little suicidal when I put mine on. I think it was when I put it on a fighter. It did kind of just like run in and like down itself immediately because it thought it could do way more than it actually could. So I feel like, it can be good and bad. Mostly it's been good, I would say.
It's really good on a rogue. Or a thief, as they call it in this one. It's good on a thief.
See, I would be surprised.
What did you guys...
Because like the main commentary I've heard about the AI is that it actually is good at using its abilities. It just leaves your characters a little exposed. And it's not very mana efficient. Like if you have mana, it'll just dump it, even if it's not like a great use.
Yeah.
Which like,
what did you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like I think there's classes that it makes a lot of sense on. Like a druid probably makes a lot of like any sort of support, like clerics and druids, like characters that are just gonna kind of do their own thing. But like, also this is another there's another fun strategy you can do where you just like send out one cat
I've done that a couple times.
I've never done that.
Because if you send out just one cat, it gets all the level ups. So rather than like get to the end of an act and you have 4 cats at level 3, you can have 1 cat at level 12. Which is really, really good. And
then you just quit at Allie and bring them
No,
home?
I mean, you could take the cat the whole
you just
way.
keep going.
You just keep going?
Well, because
I would die.
like, although you only have 1 cat, it's extra powerful because it gets like all these like stat upgrades and everything. And it works better for some classes than other ones, but that's where like taking advantage of some of the conditions can be fun, because usually blood frenzy is really, really bad. That's where if you kill an enemy, you get to take an extra turn with madness, which means like if they're AI controlled and will just target whatever's closest. But
there's no allies.
There's no allies, so you could just like run your tank forward, kill a fly, they get an extra turn, and then they're just gonna like turn 1 murder everything.
So I think I mentioned in the Discord I had an almost infinite loop, and it was exactly that. So basically I had a necromancer and it got blood frenzy, but it had pestilence, which is deal 1 damage to all units. It had whenever. And then it had a parasite on its claws that it inflicted rot, I believe, which means that
so
it spiders come. So it makes flies. But then it also had something that made it so it made spiders. So basically, every time I hit something with my basic attack, I was giving something like 4 stacks of something. And then when that unit died, it would explode with a bunch of little 1 health things. And then I use Pestilence, which does 1 damage to everything. And I basically guaranteed get an additional, I think at the end of it was like basically guaranteed like 5-6 extra turns every single time I kill like a main unit.
It's crazy.
So it's just running around doing all this stuff. And so you basically just sit there and spam Pestilence and like do 1 basic attack, spam Pestilence. And as long as there are more than 1 units on the field, like enemy units, you basically have infinite turns until you get down to the last one. Then you just have to kill the last thing. And I thought that would be... Well, it killed my entire team. So on the first time that I had this combo, it killed my entire team and then proceeded to solo the level itself. And this was right at the beginning. It was the first level of the crater. And then the 1 necromancer proceeded to clear the rest of the crater on the hard path. So I went through like 3 or 4 actual boss fights and then the rest of it. And literally this 1 unit, even though I picked up, I think it ended up being like 3 cats along the way, it killed them all immediately. It was like, no, I'm going to be the only one in this team. Screw you, I will do it myself.
There can only be 1.
And I cleared the entire crater with 1 necromancer who had that. Because it was, until you get to the last enemy, it's basically infinite extra turns. It's insane. But yeah, so if you only have 1 cat, like, amazing. But if you bring in an entire crew of cats that you really wanted to succeed because Guillotina was coming for you and you needed a bunch of good retired cats, and then this necromancer just killed your hopes and dreams, it can be a problem. But yeah, anyways, super fun. That is like my favorite combo that I've gotten off so far. Like that was such a fun run to do.
That's really fun. I think my favorite one that I've done so far was my mage turned into an absolute badass. I didn't realize how much damage they could do, but I got magic missile as the main attack.
Nice.
And then I got magic missile as an extra attack as well. And I had like 20 mana every turn. So I was just spamming magic missile the whole time. And it was like, can run, but you can't hide. I can get you anywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I feel so powerful. This is great. What did you guys think of the way that the game onboards us, like the tutorial and stuff? Do you think it did a good job of like onboarding us, or like what were your thoughts on that?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think that it did a really good job. Yeah, it's been a few hours. I think it did a really good job.
I know.
Like, even though there are so many classes, I feel, and like so many mechanics that like you kind of just like pick up as you go. I feel like for learning just like the basic stuff, it does a really good job of kind of taking you through a run and kind of holding your hand a little bit as you go. For
holding
how
your
complex
paw.
the game is, I think it did as good of a job as it possibly could. I think if it did any more, it would have been a little too much. And I think we've talked about hand-holding tutorials in the past a little bit, but it bordered on being a little too hand-holdy for me, but it stopped right at the right time where I'm just like, okay, perfect. Like, I understand it. You have left me at a good time. Now I'm free to die of my own accord. And I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing that I think I would criticize, or maybe not even criticize, but would have preferred is that they give you so much information and there is nowhere to look at what they've told you.
That's a good point.
That's true.
So I wish that there was some kind of a glossary or something where I could go and look at the things that they've taught me. Because some of it I've definitely forgotten. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that. And I don't know if that's like part of it. They want it to be that way, but I just think it would have been helpful. And like I don't understand which stat controls my thief's damage, for instance. And I can't quite figure out how to figure that out.
They never explain it, but there is a really good rule of thumb where if it is a like one tile attack or if it is like a melee attack, it is strength. If it is anything else, it's almost always controlled by your ranged stat. So
dexterity.
Yeah.
But it's not always like 1-to-1.
For the It's not, and there are weird things where the thief is in, I think if you're doing it from because it's like a 3-tile attack, I think it is. If you're doing it from the 3-tile, I'm pretty sure it takes from ranged. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that.
I think because I looked it up and I was like, how do these people on Reddit know this? But they said that the thief, I didn't see what stat it was. I can't remember, but it must be dexterity. Probably makes the most sense. But that it's every 3 instead of every 2 that it goes up. So you have to have 3 pluses to get another point.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's what Reddit said. So I don't know if that's true, but that's the kind of thing that would have been, I don't know if it would have taken away from the trial and error of it, but I'm really shitty at pattern recognition in these sorts of things. So I'll never learn the correlation unless I literally write it down and make like a spreadsheet. And I don't want to do that.
I was the same way with the necromancer, where I couldn't, like, even though it makes sense for the necromancer to be like based on ranged, I wasn't sure if because the main stat of the necromancer seems to be constitution, I wasn't sure if that dictated damage, but it doesn't. It's just straight up ranged does damage. So like I've just started, because I used to build my necromancer and I didn't like the necromancer at first because I was building them to be a tank. And then I realized that honestly, the more glass cannon you build a necromancer, in my trial and error, I have found that is the best way to build them is like, don't focus on health, just focus on ranged attack. And like, if you get seppuku on an ability, incredible, just stack up death effects. It's actually like, it seems so counterintuitive to want to kill your cat, but the necromancer has so many abilities on it that are just like, oh, when you die, do this, or, you know, like when you die, someone else gets an extra turn. When you die, make a copy of yourself. When you die, revive in a corpse that's on the field, and or whatever. Like, there's so many really good death effects that the necromancer has, and kind of not being scared of letting them go down has made me a better player. In the same way that learning that health is a resource in Magic the Gathering has helped me be a better Magic player. It's like, you know, the only life that matters is your last one. Use life as a resource. It's okay. You pay for all those spells with Bolas' Citadel. You'll be great. It's just stuff like that has made me a better player.
Nothing will ever go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Me killing myself off a Bolas Citadel every game. Bro, just one more spell.
But you know, I have 8 life and this is a 5-mana spell. Oh, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Yeah, no,
it'll be fine.
Sometimes not.
It's not fun.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
The only other thing that I can think of that I would prefer a little different is I wish I could toggle the tactical view of the board rather than having to hold the button down. Is it the same on PC?
Yeah, you have to like hold the middle mouse button on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. So in handheld, I play handheld on the Steam Deck, which this game is perfect as a handheld game, like too good. I'm like, oh, I'll just stay out here and play forever. I'll take it to bed with me. Who needs a screen-free hour before sleeping? Not I. Keep my brain going. It's fine. But I find it hard. I just have such poor visual memory. Like, it's just so bad. And so when I hit the Y button so I can see the tactical map, or like if I'm holding the square or the whatever the fuck that button is on the left, to see like the enemy's range, I'm like, I'll click it and I'll look at it. I'm like, right, okay. And then I'll go to move and I'm like, wait, how far could that guy go? And I have to go back and look at it again because I just can't. It's like my brain does not hold on to like images like that. And so I'm always like going back and forth, and it would be a lot nicer for me if I could just toggle it. I wouldn't have to be like, quick, oh yeah, that.
I did have a bug where I had to reset the game because I accidentally entered it into the tactical view and I couldn't get it out. Like, there was no way for me to turn it off no matter what I did. And so I couldn't actually like make actions or do any or move or do literally anything. That's like one of 2 bugs that I've encountered so far. But tactical view is great. Like, especially because I don't know. I feel like visually the game is very cluttered. And I think that's just kind of a product of the art style. And anytime you have an isometric game with obstacles in the middle of a board, you are going to lose some things behind some of the obstacles. And even though they show like a shadow of it behind it, a lot of the color palette's very washed out. And not everything is high contrast enough to be able to like actually see everything. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like a product of the art style, but they do have a couple redundancies kind of in place to help you in those situations, as long as you know about that, which I'm glad that they added in those things to kind of be like, oh, this is here. Oh, you can see like this, and you can see how far this thing can move or do, you know. Visually, I'm glad that those things are there.
Do they have, I didn't notice, do they have a colorblindness feature at all? Like,
good question. I don't know.
Colorblindness settings?
They do have a humping
That's kind
setting.
of the one thing I've noticed, like, that the accessibility-wise, like, there's not a lot. The settings menu is pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing
And I wonder
anything.
if that's something that's something, if you guys are listening, game developers, because of course you're listening to our podcast, because we're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And we like your game a lot. But I think maybe as the game progresses in its launch, maybe that's something they could add, is some accessibility features like color blindness options or like toggle, things like that, because those are pretty common,
pretty standard.
I don't know how easy they are
to
I don't know how they're easy they are to implement. But
Seth, you might know this like, better than I do. Did Binding of Isaac ever get like a colorblind mode or any of those things? Because honestly, I feel like whether or not Binding of Isaac did or did not is probably very indicative of the future development cycle of this game.
I don't think so, but also
that's where my mind was going too.
Also, I get the vibe that they tried going for a bit more of like a universal design aspect. Like the collars, like because there's the Ranger collar, and then there's a let's take the fighter collar because that's fine. Like they're red and green, but like they also include like a symbol to make it a little bit more
a symbol.
And there's not like a lot of items that are just like color palette swaps of each other.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you know, I'm not the accessibility guy, so
I'll have to ask my brother. He is red-green colorblind, so I'll have to ask him if he notices anything with it. Because, in fact, you're right. With the when you do the preview of like the attack range and the movement range of the bad guys, they're red and blue.
Yeah,
that's
a good point. I didn't think about that. But...
So maybe they were like, we'll just circumvent that and make it colorblind
just
friendly.
Make it a non-issue.
I wonder about things like that, like being a sped teacher. Like obviously, that's like my world. I'm always thinking about that stuff. But the I noticed the text is also actually quite dyslexia friendly, which I thought was really clever.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised from Edmund McMillan if it was an intentional sort of thing.
So Okay, so you keep mentioning him. Who is he? What has he done? I don't know anything
Binding
about
of
him.
Isaac.
He's the guy behind. He's like the lead creative design on the game. Like when you boot up the game and it says like by Edmund McMillan and Tyler Glale, he's not like a solo dev, but like he was the main any of the like creative parts of the game, like the art style and the like all the item
writing,
design, the game design. He didn't like make the music, but like curated the music for the game.
Yeah. And did he make the Binding of Isaac as well? Is that what you said?
He's not a I don't think he's not like a big coder. I think he did code some of his early games, if I had to guess. But he's sort of the design lead and the creative lead for the project. And it's his brainchild.
Okay.
Like he's the guy who came up with all the ideas.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense now why you guys are referencing Binding of Isaac. I was like, I don't get the
You're like, why do I care?
Have you played Binding of Isaac, Katie? Okay.
I haven't.
So if you had, then you would immediately be able to tell. Like, it is, like, without even being told that it's the same guy, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the same game. I mean, it's the same amount of, like, poop jokes and the art style, the writing, like, everything is very, like, there's something about, like, his work specifically that is just, like, it's coded in such a way that, like, he's the only person who's making this very specific type of game. Like, it's a very tight niche that he has cornered and does so exceptionally well.
This is an Edmund McMillan game, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Brett's right.
Cool, I like it. Maybe I'll try Binding of Isaac when the Death Grip of Mewgenics releases me, but given how much I'm enjoying it, I don't think that will be for quite some time. I just want to get better at it so that I can win more. I feel like I don't move forward. Like, I'll get through the second level and then I'm scared to move forward because my party is so beat up and I'm thinking I'm going to TPK. So I'm like, never mind. I'll just go home.
What classes do you normally run? Because I found that I was typecasting myself with, like, D&D party, where I'm like, hey, I need a healer, I need a tank, I need a DPS, and I need, like, a good ranged fighter. So I found that for the first while, I was exclusively going fighter, ranger, cleric, tank. And I found that ended up being a detriment. Like, because there's so many different healing items, and, like, you can ditch the cleric in a lot of settings and be perfectly okay. Before I ditch the cleric, though, I will ditch the tank. Because I found that keeping a tank on my team, while very good, and I do really like the tank class, I find that sometimes just the extra damage and, like, putting a necromancer on the field instead, who is almost entirely self-sustainable on certain builds, is a lot better, because you can just kind of let that fourth person just go be on your own, so your cleric only really has to worry about healing, like, your fighter or a couple things instead of the entire party. I found not relying on a kind of common D&D party ended up helping my runs a lot.
Okay, I'll have to try that, because I've been running, I feel like I usually do a tank or a fighter, and then the thief and a mage and a cleric. And my battles take a long time. Very slow, because I don't think I'm doing enough damage.
I mean, it is just a long game.
It is, yeah.
I
think I average probably like 5 rounds. Like 5-6 rounds, I think. Or 5 rounds is probably my average, I would say.
That's long.
I end up with like 3 or 4, like an okay amount of the time, but I feel like I hit 5 a good, like, more than not. I don't know.
I usually try and wrap things up pretty fast. Like, if I can finish up a round earlier, if I can, like, not pick up a coin and finish up a round earlier, that's usually what I try and do. But it's actually funny. One thing that the developers noted about the party compositions is that players at first will want to take a cleric essentially every run, which is funny that you're mentioning it. For that reason, that they're like, oh, I like the consistent heals, like I like the revive abilities. And then as players like unlock more classes and get further into the game, they start taking clerics a little bit less often. Like they take them as much as they take the other classes. Because like once you get more comfortable with the game mechanics, like you're just getting downed less and being able to dish out more damage is better. Although I don't think the clerics are low damage. I mean, they have like 1-to-1 strength on their melee weapon. Like they're just like fighters in that aspect.
And also Wrath of God is a goated ability. Wrath of God is so good. Yeah.
Clerics have a ton of great abilities.
It's sort of like in Baldur's Gate where you start out and Shadowheart is like the shittiest like cleric of all time.
Hey, don't talk about my wife like that.
No, she's so bad until you re-roll her and then you realize like, oh, actually it's a lot better to just do massive amounts of damage. It's okay, Brett. To do just massive amounts of damage as quickly as possible rather than have a healer and then have to drag it out longer because you don't have that extra damage dealer.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've been starting to think.
I mean, I think that's generally true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I will say just like futzing around with different units, like just take an all damage team, like an all just straight damage team and just kind of feel it out. Also, something that would actually maybe really help if you have the time to sit down, like if you don't want to necessarily play, the creator Edmund Millen,
yeah,
whatever is he did a full before the game, like a few weeks leading up to the game coming out, he did several like let's plays of the game, and watching some of those really helped me because it's like the developer telling you basically what he goes through, like everything that he's doing in pretty meticulous detail, while being very entertaining while doing so. Like it's incredibly informative to watch him play. Who would have thought that it would be informative to watch the creator play his own game? But like it's very, very informative on the like the very nitty gritty mechanics without being too overbearing and like info dumpy. So to anyone, this doesn't, to anyone who's struggling with the game, I struggle with the game a lot. But like watching his Let's Plays of them, he breaks things down in really, really easy ways and isn't, again, not too info dumpy, but he just kind of goes and plays through and just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move, this person up 3 tiles instead of 5 just because I want them to hang back a little bit because of this. And, oh, I'm not going to use this ability even though I have the mana to, just because I'd rather have the mana next turn. Like there's a lot of just like little optimizing tips that he has that's just like really, honestly, just a game changer.
That's really, really good, like, pedagogical, like, practice to, we call that, like, we would probably call that think aloud. Like, we're modeling how we solve a problem or how we approach something in school. And we say, okay, like we just did this with my 9th graders recently, for test taking. Like, okay, I have this question. Well, let's see, I know it's not this one. Maybe it's this one, but I don't really think so. And then we're between the two, and I'm like, okay, well, then I have to go back and look and blah, blah, blah to figure it out, go back to the text. I'm like, okay, this one has the most evidence. And that kind of teaching is really, really helpful for helping to build like conceptual understanding. So I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds awesome.
I will say too, it's also just really fun to watch a game developer play their, like, who's not technically like a solo dev, but who's like mostly play their own game and get like really excited about it. And he's also a surprisingly good Let's Player. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really entertaining to watch. So effortlessly entertaining, genuinely.
Yeah, and like he just has a ton of fun with it, and you're like, oh, you really enjoy playing your own game, which I mean is like,
that's great.
What better praise could you give a game than like the game developer being like, yeah, this game actually like rocks.
Yeah, like I still like it after thousands of hours of work.
Which is crazy to me to think about, like a guy developing a game, having like gone through all of the testing and like the iterations over the last 15 years, and then doing like a couple live streams of just like him playing the game and being like, yeah, it's great. Like I have a fantastic time playing my own game that I just spent the last decade developing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
as much as it has to be like very gratifying.
Yeah, as much as Seth singing the praises before the game came out was like enough for me to be like, okay, I want to check this game out. Like when Seth linked the Let's Play and I watched all of them, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, this game fucks. Like I need to like watching him play it was just like, oh no, that I need to play this game. Like, yeah, it's so good.
And it is crazy how good it is.
The two of you talking about it made me have FOMO. So that's what. Thanks for pressuring me.
Peer pressure.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna end this episode without ever mentioning tasty legs and crispy thighs. Which
oh my god,
mind.
the soundtrack on this game is so fucking good.
It's so good.
Dude,
every time I hear a new boss theme, I'm like, oh my god, it's so good.
That's so true.
The Radical Rat theme is so. I mean, okay,
I love
dude.
That
The
one.
rat theme has been. It is a fucking earworm for me. I'm sitting there just being like, I'm at work, being like, crispy legs and tasty thighs on my mind.
Literally same. My favorite right now is the Alien Invader one.
Dude, the Crater one.
So good. Yeah, it's just
Dude, the Crater theme is. I've been listening to that. I think I put it on like 3 times today. Katie, you got to get to Act 2. I think that might be my.
Okay. I'm gonna get brave. I'm gonna go to the boneyard next.
You're far ways out, but
around.
You should do it because also the caves one is really good. Oh my god, they're literally all so good. Yeah. I mean,
they're all amazing.
They're all amazing. Guillotina's theme is also so good. Like.
Yeah, it is really good music.
Jeez.
I don't always listen to, a lot of the times I don't listen to music because I'm playing I'll have the sound off because I'm playing in the living room. And I'm like, you can put your headphones in because I'm listening to the soundtrack. You're like, I gotta listen to it.
Yeah, like it's been a really great game for me to like. I've been watching One Piece, which has been a terrible adventure. It's like 1,155 episodes, I think, currently as of recording. And I'm on like episode like 180-ish. It's a long adventure, but I'm putting it on while I've been playing the game, and it's so hard to like mute the game while I'm watching something else while playing it because as good as One Piece is. It's not as good as the soundtrack to this game. That's maybe a controversial take, but the soundtrack to Mewgenics is better than One Piece. I don't know.
They're going to come at us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Any further thoughts, or did we do an episode?
I feel like we're going to be talking about this game for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Overthinking Games, a podcast about what video games can teach us. Thanks for joining us on our conversation of Mewgenics. It's been a pleasure.
God damn it.
If you have anything that you'd like to share about Mewgenics or suggestions for topics that you think we should cover next, or, nice things in general to say, you could send us an email. It'll be in the show notes, and you can find us on TikTok and YouTube and Bluesky and all of those places where you find podcast stuff. So thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, this game is so fucking good.